What's up, everybody? Welcome to the late night episode of Life Lessons and Blessings, episode 4. It is currently 12:05 a.m. Eastern time, and we doing something different this time, bro. So basically, what y'all see is VR chat, and I had the bright idea one day that we was gonna start running the podcast like this, just because it was gonna give people something interesting to view while they look at it on the YouTube channel. Obviously, if you listening to it on Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and that's how you listen to it, and that's cool. But for the people who might be predominantly listening to it only on YouTube through KiteZz channel, I wanted to give something for people to visualize. So I came up with the idea that we was gonna do it through VR chat. So this is how you will see episodes from now on YouTube, but the format for all of the other platforms will continue to stay the same. But today, on episode 4, the topic that we will be discussing today is when you should prioritize happiness over stability, how social media has ruined a generation of people, and how having hobbies directly equates to enjoyment out of life. So, yeah.
It's a bar.
So we got, on this episode, we got the one and only Tonbi. Say what up.
What up, y'all?
We got May, aka Lain. Say what's good.
Yo, what's Gucci? Come on over here, you feel me?
We got the writer, that young guy. Say what up, Cinder.
Hello, guten tag.
You can go
ahead and promote your book, bro.
Yeah.
You can check it out on Royal Road right now. I'm probably gonna put it on tap. It's called The Crossing.
Yeah, and we're gonna put the link in the description.
If you're African American, you might like it. And if you're anything else, you might like it. It's about a Japanese guy. You'll see.
Yep. And then the one and only KiteZz.
Yes, sir, Ski. You can't see my avatar, but you can see my shoes. I still got the drip. You already know how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So who wants to kick it off? Honestly, I was thinking about having Cinder kick it off, because the reason why I came up with that first part, if y'all didn't know earlier, May had made this statement that obviously he's gonna prioritize happiness over stability, which he should, because bro is young. Bro is only 21. So
wait, what?
What? I mean, that's just fact.
I think it was the opposite way. Yeah,
you should prioritize happiness over stability.
No, I'm prioritizing stability over happiness.
What?
Yes.
Well, say you okay. Swear to God.
Yeah, look in the chat. That's what I said.
Yeah, he did say that.
That's crazy.
Why does that blow your mind?
Why is that though?
It blows my mind, because like when I May, he the youngest one in the group, bro, 21. So I'm thinking, cuz would always put happiness over stability, which I mean in a sense he does, right? I'm not gonna go into bro specifics, but at the end of the day, cuz do what he wants that makes him happy.
When it comes to you guys, I do. When it comes to you guys are like that happiness part, but in real life, I'm definitely not as happy as I would be like if I could do what I really want to do. But yeah, around you guys are like the happiness part, but definitely in real life, I am definitely prioritizing stability right now. Like I'm doing things just to be stable, but I'm not doing them necessarily because I'm happy.
Right. Oh, okay. That's a bar. That's a bar in itself. Really?
Glad to be part of happiness.
But something does have to give, hopefully soon. But for now, definitely stability.
Yeah, we can get into the specifics at a later date. I remember we was having conversations before about other life stuff. But the reason why I don't know, for some reason in my head that I had it the opposite for you is because I was thinking about Cinder, because Cinder is a little bit older, and he does he has a mix of stability and happiness with what he does. And Cinder, I'm gonna let you pick up from there and go into that.
I mean, there's points in time where stability is definitely more important than happiness. Just making sure you stay afloat is way better than being able to spend money however you want. But the two go hand in hand, or kind of, right? I've learned in my age, the more money you have, the happier you actually are, is because you're stable. You have that money to fall back on should anything happen. But with the lack of, let's say, finances, you become less happy. Like the two kind of correlate in a way, right? But they are also very different at the same time. Just because you have a large abundance of money doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be happy.
Right.
It's kind of finding that happy middle ground, and it's very dangerous. Because in my early years, especially when I was younger, because I'm 28 now, I was spending money like a madman just because I had it. Wasn't saving, just throwing it to the wind, and gee, I wish I had that money right now, to be real with y'all.
I mean, you already know what I was on. Y'all, I know y'all remember that period where the stimmies was hidden and the
I didn't get those.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for you. That unemployment was him. You could call me.
I did not get those.
Y'all could call me Pandemic P because I was pushing, motherfucker. Excuse me.
Hey,
I was pushing. So the Genshin Impact, I was the Genshin King. Y'all thought the Chinese fellas was going crazy, boy.
You know what's
Trump,
crazy? That game. He doesn't even play that game.
He don't even play that game no more. That's the crazy thing.
I've sold multiple accounts on Genshin Impact. I just recently sold an account on Epic 7. God rest my
Are you
account.
sure you want to admit that out loud?
Yeah.
The people need to know.
I'm about to say they can't, like, you know.
But Tencent about to be on your ass, boy. China about to.
Smile gave me Hoyo. They
Right,
don't know
they
my
about to backtrace you.
Yeah, boy, they wouldn't hear this podcast in a million years, my brother. So
That's true. They might not. You never know.
But yeah, I mean that honestly, that's how I made a lot of the money that I spent during the pandemic back, is because I started selling all of these accounts that I was like putting money into these games and stuff like that. But yeah, I wasted so much bread, bro. Like, I mean, I've made bread back selling accounts when that Dogecoin stuff was hitting. Like in 2020, I made like 5 bands. I made about 5 bands off of that, and I pulled out on my birthday at the height of like it was at like 51 cents or something like that, I think.
Right.
So did having that abundance of money make you feel happy?
It definitely did, because whatever I wanted, I got it. Like, it made me happy in that moment because it was things that I wanted to do. I look now, and even if I had that money, like, I would be happy, but there is a whole list of problems that I haven't addressed with myself mentally, physically, like all type of things that I should be the priority on, like how to deal with my lack of happiness and things like that. I don't know why I just jumped, but you know, yippee. But
man levitating.
yeah. So you know, it's a lot of things that I need to deal with physically and mentally. But if I had that money that I blew during the pandemic and just like on some video games in general, yeah, I would definitely be happier. But you know, it definitely wouldn't be the answer to everything. It wouldn't be the end all be all per se.
Okay,
So,
that's respectable. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you're always gonna have like financial regrets. You feel me? Like, I wish I would have invested in like Bitcoin or something. But now it's like, you know, like, it's too late now. that mud came and went. You feel me? Like, I can't get that investment in there. Even if I went back in time, I probably still would have been stupid and not made the right decision. But I mean, the main thing is like finding the happiness, because you know, stability is extremely important. I think it's like, you know, foundational to everything. But I do get how like a lot of people do have that struggle of putting, hey, I'm gonna put my stability over my happiness, or I'm gonna put my happiness over my stability, just for the sake of, you know, we're human and we have error. You get me? We make mistakes. Am I making sense? So it's like,
yeah, you're making sense.
It's tough because like even right now, like my own perspective, like I have my own house, but it's like I had to give up doing a lot of things that I think probably would have made me happy in my life. You know, like I'm only 25, but to say like I'm 25, but I've never really done anything. I've just been working nonstop. Like, I can't say like my happiness is through the charts, but it does. There's like a symbolization of happiness once I look back at like the things that I've invested in, or like the things that I've earned through like my hard work. But like there's times where I do look at like all the stuff that my friends do, like when I see them taking pictures of something, or like they're spending money on things that I wouldn't spend money on. I'm just like dang, like did I miss out on something? Like did I make the right choices by going this route? It's just that's just life. It's a toss up.
God, it is.
I mean, well, like the thing with that though is like when you have a bunch of money, and or like not even that, you're not like in a stable position. It becomes dangerous to your mental health, and that's something you have to take into account. It's because your mental health is key at the end of everything, and if all that fumbles, like everything else is gonna fall in a domino effect.
Right.
I think that stability is top. It should be top. Money should never topple your stability. Like some people come dangerously close to pushing that edge, especially content creators, because they feel like they got to do the next big thing before the wave passes by. And yeah, just in general, it's shit like that is dangerous.
Yeah, 100%.
What about you, Tonbi? How you feel about it? Because you kind of dealing with that right now.
Yeah,
after the conversation we had.
Like I talked to y'all before we even started this. This kind of started when I was 19. I'm 25 now. So, well, for me personally, it doesn't take much for me to, be excited about things and all that stuff. So, while I do say stability over happiness, I would say stability while weaving in that happiness. So, for me, when I work, that's the stability part and paying bills and all that stuff. But when I have my free time, that's where the happiness comes in. So, in a sense, it still is stability over happiness, but happiness is still there to the point where it's okay for me to go the stability route. Whereas if I were to go straight happiness and no stability, I don't even know where I would be, because being broke sucks. And when you're broke,
facts.
When you're broke, you cannot have anything. And so it kind of sucks, how like you have to have that stability. You can't just say, screw this, I'm gonna go do that happy thing, and then next thing you know, you could be homeless or whatever, trying to pursue that. But you got to keep your stability in check. So I would just say multitask. It ain't got to be the super duper happy stuff, but it's just the happy stuff that keeps you afloat, so you can keep on doing that stability.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a garbage feeling, because like that was something that me and my mom was like kind of going back and forth about recently. Is like I don't really want to work because like I don't know, I hate people, and it's getting worse and worse as these days go by. And if I work, anything I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to interact with people 100%.
Right.
So it's like it's really nothing that I can do for me. Like I don't know. I'm gonna have to suck it up eventually. It just sucks that I'm gonna have to basically like eat dirt for a while to get some bread until I at least go off to school and like either do school full time or just do school and work. But it's just, I don't know, it just feels like such a miserable existence, because some people's personalities is literally just their job and work. Like some people don't have hobbies, and it's really sad. Like I found out a lot of people I know recently didn't have any hobbies, like anything that really like they really can just like get intertwined with and enjoy doing. And like that's definitely, it sucks, because I feel like that's like essentially a necessity for you to have. Like you gotta have something on this earth or on this, like during this lifetime that you live, that there's something that you can like immerse yourself in 100%, whether or not you like get into it or whether you like are just enjoying it essentially. So
yeah, it gives you some type of purpose.
Yeah, you definitely need purpose in life.
It sucks because like you said, like you like even with like you wanting to be stable, and you got to sit there and you got to eat dirt for a little bit just so you can make something happen. That's the crazy difficult part about life that like a lot of people, they're like kind of oblivious to. Is just like everything is gonna have like some type of sacrifice or some type of You know, you gotta put in the work to get a lot of things done, and it sucks because you'll sit there and go through these things and see these type of things like you gotta go through, but then it's so easy to look, you know, just like even look on like you open your phone and some dude's living a life that like is lavish, he's going crazy. You're like, dang, like what does he do for a living? You find out this dude got rich because, you know, he went viral off of like a stupid 15-second video. Like it's like, it makes you start thinking like life is bull crap, you know? Like it's just like, this ain't fair, bro. Like this should be me or something like that, you know? That FOMO starts to kick in.
And that's why a lot of people fall into certain like things that they try to do. Like, let's be completely honest, like as transparent as possible. Content creation is definitely one of those things where like you live life on easy mode if you get to blow up in content creation, because you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do.
It turns into a completely different game. Sorry.
Yeah, it does. You're right. It turns into a completely different game that has its own hardships. But if you compare it to like the average game of life, that's definitely like an easier path. Like at that point, if you go the route of content creation or like professional video game player, like esports or anything like that, like you definitely playing a different game, but it's a game all the same. Like you may be playing a platformer now instead of a puzzle game. But you still have to jump through hoops, and you still have to maneuver a specific type of way to get to the things you want. But I mean, luckily this day and age, that's the great thing about like how far we progress as society, because there's a lot of things that we can do now that weren't options for our like former family members, ancestors, stuff like that. It's things that we can do, avenues that we can pursue that wasn't available to them, that, you know, had it been, they definitely would have pursued it, I'm sure.
100%,
so,
bro. 100%.
Like, that's the good thing. One of the good like pros about how life has progressed for like our generation specifically. Like, as much as I hate social media, it's still got its pros to it, for sure.
I think with that progression, I think with that progression, it kind of, well, for the older generation, it kind of makes them feel some type of way, where how some of the younger generations are getting this money this type of way through social media. And then you'll see them comment under it saying that, why don't you get an actual job? You know,
yeah, or back in my day.
This is their job.
They're just like, you got to get on with the new time. So there's pros in that, but I guess it's the only con is that was for the older generation, I guess, hating on the younger generation, because
I don't completely agree with that.
I mean,
go on.
I disagree with that a little bit, because it's a matter of certainty. Like it's different. It's a different time period, right? What they knew back in their day, what they think of as getting income, it works. They know going to school or getting a job, it works. They don't know how things work these days. It's not necessarily hate. It's just that they don't know how things work these days.
That's how it was for them. So they're gonna try to put that into the younger people so that they can have the same success, even though there's different options now.
Because they don't know the other options unless they're showing results. They don't know about the other options. All they know is if you go to work, you're 100% guaranteed you're getting paid. But if you're making content creation, they don't know if you're getting money or not. They just know that you're living in this house doing this thing, but they don't know if you're actually getting money from it. Or there's nothing to show for it. You have to have something to show.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying, Tonbi, real quick, I just wanted to say I agree with what you're saying, but I disagree about the part where you said that that's not hate, because one of the stems of hate is lack of information. And because they have that lack of information, they project on how the way things used to be. And it doesn't come from a place of like, I mean, it does come from a place of misinformation, but it also comes from a place of them trying to force their will on this new generation. So it definitely, while not all cases or instances may be hate, there are some instances and cases where hate or jealousy.
Let me put it in this way real quick, real fast.
Yeah.
There's a left path and a right path, right? The left path is the way, like, say I'm your father. No offense or anything. The left path is a path I know really well. There's a path I walked up and down. That's how I get to work or whatever. Your friends take that right path, though it may be shorter. It's far more dangerous. I'm going to tell you to take the left path because I know it works. Not necessarily that I don't like the right path. I just don't know what that way is going to entangle. You feel me? Like, I don't know if there's like going to be dogs down there, if there's going to be gangs down that right path, but I know this left path is the safer one.
It goes back to that. I honestly, like, sitting here listening to it, I understand, like, all, like, because even Tonbi's perspective is a little bit different from West's perspective, and West's perspective is a little different from your perspective. But at the end of the day, I just want to clarify, like hate is such a strong word. I would say it's the disconnect. It's the like not seeing the puzzle fit in the piece, like the puzzle piece fitting in that specific spot. Like how you said, like there's
a better word.
You said what?
It's ignorance.
Envy, a better word.
Yeah, I didn't use a better word.
No, because envy sounds more like jealousy. That's like wanting to be in that position. I don't think it's necessarily that either. It's
not envy. It's just ignorance.
It's ignorance.
They just don't have enough information. Yeah, they just don't have enough information.
It's just they're trying to put onto you what they know works, even though you know there's another way that works, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they don't know.
It's like this is an example I'm pretty sure everybody has had it. You ever had that moment where you're in like elementary and you're doing a math question and you answer the question because you know the answer in your head, and your teacher's like, you need to show your work. You get me?
Yeah.
And it's like the teacher's telling you show your work. Like everybody has the teacher has the reason for telling you that. Show your work so that way if you ever get to a point where you don't remember the steps you took, you can see it on paper. Versus to us as the kid, it's like, I figured out I can count in my head and I don't need to write this down, so why should I have to do that? I know the answer by my own merits. But at the end of the day, they're both just two perspectives, and they're both, I'm sure the teacher can do like we all know the teacher can do the question in their head too, but they understand the teacher at that moment is saying, hey, show your work because I've done it that way too. Eventually mistakes will happen. And, as children, we're on that naive path of we can't do no wrong, or we don't make mistakes, or we don't grasp the mistakes we make. So we're like, oh, we can do it in our head. It's like he said, there's two paths, your ancestors and your predecessors, the people who passed it on, passed the torch to you. They're always going to go like, well, this is the thing that gave me the success. So as somebody who lived my life on this path, do this path like me and you'll get the same success like me. But then there's also the other path, and which is like the younger person's path of like, well, I got to watch the blueprint, I watched how you did it, but I want to do things my own way to show you like there's something I can contribute to this, if that makes any sense. There's something I can do myself,
That makes perfect sense. So what I would have to say about that is that you were saying that the teacher also knows how to count in their head.
Right.
Which kind of gave me the perspective that the older generation know how this younger generation works.
Right.
But yet they still...
But they don't.
But yeah,
no, because I'm about to say that I
So,
think he messed up there a little bit, because I know what he's trying to say.
I know.
Well, it's this. Here's perspective.
Go ahead.
Not to get religious, but there's a expression in the Bible, right? And there's nothing new under the sun, right? Meaning that everything that happens today has happened before or will happen eventually again. Meaning that no matter, even if you change the perspective of who's involved or what they're fighting over, there has already been at some point a fight over something similar that went the exact same way. You get me? Meaning that the older generation can know something that we don't know as the newer generation, but we just slapped a new coat of paint on it. Like, for instance, the music industry, right? I've been hearing before I was even born, we all knew, like, people knew the music industry. It was like, hey, once you get in the industry, there's something that you're gonna have to do, or there's some things you're gonna have to make a sacrifice of to get famous. Now we have these SoundCloud people who got fame outside of the music industry, that on like the underground industry of it, and slowly but surely the SoundCloud industry has now became exactly what the mainstream industry is. So there's nothing new under the sun, meaning that it's happening again. It's just a different way of looking at it, but it's still the same thing. It's repeating itself. You get me?
I got you.
But Cinder,
when I
I
was-
want my bad.
I was just gonna circle back to the last point that you made about the older generation, about like I live this and I know this works. Is they basically just they all harbor the same sentiment of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Facts.
But
Yeah.
I think this new generation, it's like if it ain't broke, we're not gonna fix it. But I know that there is another way to
Right.
get
Make
this
it better.
thing. Yeah, so I know how to make it better. I know how to get a bag. Hey, like Tonbi, what did bro say in that rap when he was roasting dude? Remember? He was like, he was like, my girl thicker than yours. I can get $1 quicker than you.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
like, my
yeah.
bag quicker than yours, my girl
Job
thicker than
better.
yours, my girl better than yours, I rap better than you. Yeah. That battle rap.
Yeah, I can get $1 quicker. Yeah, that's basically what this new generation is. Like, I'm glad that your hustle worked, big fella. I'm glad that you got it the way you got it. But guess what? I can get it better than you. I can get it quicker than you, and I can get it more consistent than you. Like, and that's just how this new generation is. And like, depending on who you got in your family, right? Like some people in our generation can talk to their family members, sit down and have real conversations with their family members to kind of like put the older heads on like how certain stuff works. And some people just can't, they can't, because a lot of old heads, the stereotype about old heads is that they're stuck in their ways. And like, as much as people want to talk about stereotypes, a stereotype doesn't become a stereotype because it's
without some
untrue.
truth. Yeah, with
right.
some truth. It has some truth to it.
Yeah, it has some truth, it has some merit to it. So like, older heads predominantly are stuck in their ways. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, stick to the script. And and that's because that's what they were taught. Like we were just talking about something else, like, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, etc. Like, you go to work, you get the bread for your family, you come home, your dinner made, you eat dinner with your family, and that's it. It don't matter how unhappy you is, how much how much
you play the role.
Yeah,
You play your
yeah,
role.
you play that role. Everybody has, it's like sports. You have an objective, you have a position to play. This is what your position entails. Don't play outside of your position or you will get cut.
Right.
It's as simple as that. What you can't do, somebody else can do. Somebody else can follow the rules. So you need to follow the rules, or else you become a rule breaker, you out. You're not a part, of this, this team no more. Essentially.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's just how they follow. It's like we stay inside of our comfort zone because that's all we have. And that stems to that
That's
video
deep.
that we were just
That's
watching.
deep, bro. You stay inside your comfort zone because that's all you have.
Like,
That's deep.
if like that video that we watch, fear is, he said it's like a number one killer of people. Kills your dreams, kills your spirit, kills your
Right.
drive. Like, because people don't want to get outside their comfort zone. And I understand it because, I don't really want to get out of my comfort zone when it comes to socializing with people. Like, obviously I met y'all through like means that I have actively pursued, like, through Lost Saga. Like, that was a game that I like playing, and we was in them Discord calls every day, and I got to know every single one of y'all, and we got to be cool and comfortable around each other when the game was off. See, that's the thing. It's a lot of people that I don't really associate with when the game is off because I don't really like who they is. It's only like a handful of people that I can mess with outside of whatever I was doing with them. And that's the thing that like I suffer from now. Like, that's why I'm gonna try and keep an open mind when I go to school, like later this year, because like it would be cool if I met some people that I was comfortable enough with to warrant hanging out in person. But it's a lot of things that I don't even like do no more. Like I don't you wouldn't catch me at no club. You wouldn't catch me going to no house party. When I go to college with bros, it's like, yo, let's go to so and so party. I'm gonna be like,
no.
I think one of the biggest issues. I think one of the biggest issues in that, like, being hard to talk to people, that being difficult, is social media. I think too many people these days are socially awkward. Like, no one knows how to really like speak.
I'm one of them. I don't like talking to people. I agree with that. I definitely don't like talking to people.
Like,
in
here's
person.
the thing: you could talk to someone way easier in VR chat than you can, in real life.
Yes, that is so true.
Hey, baby, that's prime example of what.
Yeah, that's prime example of me because I definitely don't talk to anyone IRL. Even at my job, I don't even like talking at all at my job.
But my question,
Yeah,
I got a question for that, right? Is that a concern? You know, that we're at the point now where, you know, we're so comfortable talking to online strangers that social skills are like, I don't know, not I don't want to say dying, because like I can still hold a conversation, but
call it how it is. Yes, they are dying.
Okay.
They are dying.
Yeah.
Skills are dying.
Social skills are dying, and like we're low key being conditioned that like we don't wanna interact with each other on normal means anymore. Isn't that kind of like, I don't know, like to me that makes me feel kind of uneasy. You get me? Like,
I feel you. Like, it's sometimes where people call my phone and I'm just like, why are you calling me? Like, you could shoot me a text. Because sometimes like I don't know. It's because that's the thing. Like, luckily for me, I'm like kind of just, I'm not gonna say like I'm a weird hybrid, because my mom hates when I call myself weird, but like I'm like one of these exceptions essentially. I can talk to people in real life, even though I despise it, and I can also socialize with people on the internet. Like it's a good and a bad thing, because you know, it gets to points where like I'm so much better at socializing with people on the internet that's what I would prefer. But the thing is, like, my mom and even my grandmother, like, they just think that like I can't talk to people, and it just blows my mind, because it's like there's been multiple times where I've done public speaking in front of them, when I've gotten to know people. I mean, I used to work at Foot Locker. I had to talk to randoms all day to sell them shoes. My first day when I was working at Foot Locker, I sold like a band worth of product, because I was just talking to people, and I hated every minute of it. Like, just because I got a smile on my face and I'm talking to people and I'm selling them shoes, shoe cleaner, socks, you know, like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like talking to people. Like, if I was to find a job right now, like, if I wasn't doing like no data entry or nothing like that, because y'all know I type like super fast and stuff, like, I'll be doing some stock or something. Like, let me go in the back with my headphones on and just tell me where to throw these boxes, bro, and leave me alone.
Why do you think I work overnight?
So let me throw a scenario at y'all, right? Y'all meet a girl online, like Tinder or whatever. You go, she actually decides to go on a date with you. You meet her at an IHOP.
Right.
How do you think that interaction is gonna go? Like, for you, it might be normal. You don't be talking because we used to talk. But how do you think she's gonna react?
I mean, I can't react to that because I don't do online dating at all. So
he said it's more of a
hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical.
I can't even begin.
I can use myself in this situation, so y'all know that I've been on like a stint where I talked to like a lot of women through like Tinder and Bumble and things like that. And the thing is, like, even though like some of those don't make it off of the app, I still try to get to a point with these like women that I can hold a conversation with them through text, through phone, and if we were to ever meet in person, I would know the type of energy that they bring through phone and through text, and that would be like the type of energy that I carry with them on a date or a meetup or anything like that. Like,
have you met any of them off of the app though?
I have. Well, the most recent one I remember meeting off of the app was this girl that I was talking to, and she was younger than me, but we kind of was like cool. And
how was she reacting to it all compared to her text energy?
Man, I mean, y'all, they're gonna cut this out in a post because we don't, you know, we trying to keep it clean for the YouTube. Got to get them dollars, baby.
But all I'm saying,
it was garbage, brother. It was garbage. Like, she was talking so much, excuse my French, shit about, I don't want to, if I link up with you and you not talking for real, that's gonna kind of blow me. And I was just like, okay. And sure enough, when I picked her up on her birthday. Like, I took her out for her birthday. I got her flowers, all type of stuff. Bro, we was in the car, driving to the movies, driving to get food and all that. And she was not talking, bro. I was talking to myself. And when I tell you I wanted to kick Shorty out the whip like it was a GTA and keep moving on the freeway, it blew my mind. Cause like, I got out of my comfort zone. Y'all know me, bro.
I know
meeting up with a girl for a date, taking her out on her birthday, getting her flowers. Like, this girl is not my girlfriend. This is not one of my first loves. This, I told y'all, it's like I can count on one hand the amount of women that I actually been in love with on this earth, and it was neither one of them.
I could vouch for that one.
and I picked this girl up. I drove to the. I haven't even like, even though I had my license since like 2016, I haven't driven that much because like I was riding a bus to school and like we only had one car. My mom was using it to go to work. So like I didn't even drive that much, and I barely drive on the freeway. I don't even like getting on the freeway still to this day because I don't drive that much. But not only did I drive down to Detroit from where I live, I was driving in Detroit on the freeway, and the people in Detroit on the freeway don't know how to drive. So I'm already out of my element because I'm driving on the freeway. Then I got to drive defensively because I'm driving for myself and the other person I have in a car. And I'm picking this girl up. First off, it was a bus. She couldn't even tell me where she lived at accurately. Like I had to go around the block a few times. And then when I finally get there, the location that she had me at was like right around the corner from where she was at. So I had to pull around the corner, sit in front of like the house and stuff. And
I was slow you down.
Got
right
you
there,
busting
big
U-turns, bruh.
bro,
fella. Right, hit the end for us, please.
No, but
I was so mad, bro. Like
It was
after
very
that,
different from
it
social.
was, from the amount, like that's the thing, we were having great conversations. She was super talkative over the phone and on FaceTime and stuff like that. And then we got in person and it was just a bust. And I hated it, bro, because I'm like, I went out of my comfort zone for what?
Now, why do y'all think that is? Why do you think it's like so difficult for people to speak in person when they do it all the time in social media?
Do you want a blunt answer? The blunt answer is
you're behind the screen.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm asking
you're safe.
The room.
You're safe. You're safe.
You're safe. Yeah, you're safe.
You're safe to say whatever you want, be how you want, act like you want. Like I said, like 90% of people online have a false vibrato or a false,
persona.
You know, me
because usually they have problems in real life.
Right, real talk. And when you turn on this computer and you turn on these screens right now, you're a different person. You're not yourself. You don't have to worry about how you look. You don't have to worry about how you look. You got apps that can change how you sound. You can type whatever you want. It's free. You're free. There's no reality check. And as long as there's no reality check, look at like even his date, right? Look at how social media has structured, I feel like on social media people can say men are dogs and men are this and men are that. But
they do it all the time.
Yeah. And my thing is, I've seen more out of pocket stuff from women on social media than I've ever seen in men on social media. Like I thought my homies and I talked bad, but then dude, like some of the stuff I've been read or I've even in this game alone, some of the stuff I've experienced and women have said to me in this game, I'm like, bro, if we was in real life, darn well you wouldn't say any of this. Like, this is like, this is vibrato for real, but it's like Wes' experience was. The girl, she had that. She was on that social media, it's behind the screen type energy. But real life's a different thing. Wes probably a tall dude, he probably walked up on her, had her shook.
5'11" and a half, 6 foot when I wear Timbs. Thank you very much.
Oh God, with the Timbs. They better be
I think the worst part about this, right, is how like social media in general is influencing the youth. Right. It plays such a big part in their growing up that they end up seeing reality warped compared to how it actually is. Exactly. And that's how we get all like these types of movements and like people believe all this stuff is happening out there because how social media works, right? We all we see is the bad. We're always just gonna see the bad. You're not gonna see the good, and it gets blown up to where everyone just thinks the world is terrible and everything is bad. It's just like it's not that. You're just seeing this little speck of it. That's not.
It's just what the media portrays the bad. They never really portray the good.
That's why, like sometimes, bro, like my mom be she be telling me about stuff like that. I'll let you to death. But whatever you're going to tell me, just don't, because I know it's going to be negative. Like, there's so many times where my day had been, like, my vibe has been killed or my day has been ruined by the stuff that my mom has told me about what's happening or by the stuff that I told her. But sometimes it's like, sometimes there's discussions that have to be had based off of what's going on in the world. Right. And, like, that's why I have a new social media, and the only thing I do on there is post anime, video games, fighting games, art, anime titties, you know, anime boobies, assets, you know, whatever they slinging via art or digital media, you know, I'm a fan of that. So that's what's on my Twitter.
All I post is art and stuff too.
Yeah, so it's like I be chilling, superheroes and stuff like that, but and real women, you know, booty and breasts.
I get it.
Yeah, I just I need the people to know that, like, you know, even though
anime,
I'm not
anime,
one of those.
I get it.
I like it all, you know, digital or real assets, you know, I'm with that. But yeah, like I just be chilling, bro, because I don't look at politics because it's sad. I don't look at
I definitely don't pay attention to that shit.
In the world, like, and that's the thing, like I am willfully ignorant to some, but there's some stuff that, like, you can't be ignorant to, because, like, you have to know like how the world is going and stuff like that. And, like, that's when, you know, things become so big that, like, no matter how, you know, quote unquote ignorant you are to it, it will come across you in some way, shape, or form, and there will be a discussion that needs to be had with family or friends or anything like that. But it's like, just social media in general is just bad, because like I'll bring up my homie, for example. Me and my homie wasn't speaking for like a few weeks, and I was like, dang, I thought bro might have stopped messing with me or something, like we wasn't cool no more. But, you know, that really wasn't the case. He just hit me up like the other day, and he was like, yeah, bro, I just been struggling recently, super depressed, and like wondering what I'm doing with my life. Like, I do this and that, I'm about to be like, you know, this old in a few months, and I'm not even finished with school, and I'm so far behind in his brain, and it feels crippling. And I'm just like, I understand where he's coming from, because that's how I feel. And, like, you know, I've been knowing bro since we was in 8th grade, and like, even though there was a period of time where we didn't talk that much, like there was never any bad blood between us. So like when we reconnected and we just started chopping it up again, it was like clockwork essentially. But I understand it, because we follow the same people. Everybody graduating, everybody be in this country going on this vacation, everybody be doing this, everybody be doing that, and it's like, that's all you see. All you see is people, like, essentially moving forward while you feel like you stuck. And like, and that's another thing that social media does. It's like, you look at all these people, and like, you know, some of these people do really be doing these things and stuff like that, and some of these people, like, it's just all the front. Obviously, in this situation, I'm not going to say that what he's saying is a front, because we follow the same people and we know the same people. So like, yes, people are moving on, quote unquote, essentially. But it's like, that's why social media is so bad. That's why, like, on my Instagram, I don't have no pictures of myself or nothing like that. Like, I deleted all that, because like I had a whole bunch of followers and stuff like that. But like, it got to a point where like all of that was meaningless. It didn't matter to me anymore, because like I shouldn't be paying attention to what people are doing, and I shouldn't be paying attention to like how people are living their life, because it is like, you know, it's a non-factor. And so for like a solid year and a half, I just didn't use Instagram at all. I've recently got back on Instagram just because, you know, a lot of the people I went to high school, a lot of them girls, baddies, and I want to see what they look like and what they doing. So I'll be scrolling.
Trust me. You don't want to talk to them like girls from high school.
I don't want to talk to them, but they still look bad. They still got the yiddies, they still got the yams, and I still like to see the yiddies and the yams. So that's where I be at. So, you know,
my man is on Tonbi. He's on Tonbi.
Yeah, but I don't like whenever they be talking about their life or they talking about the way of the world and stuff. Skip. I only came here for one thing, man.
You see that respectfully. The crazy thing about like getting back in contact with those people you went in high school, right? It's because like a lot of them are just living day to day. They're just going to work, coming back home. Some of them got kids now and stuff like that. It's crazy. You never see them talk about like hobbies or anything that's like interesting and going on in their life. Like you don't see none of that, and it almost makes me feel kind of weird, right? It's because like I'm doing this writing thing, and I talk about my writing because it's like my passion thing. Meanwhile, I just see everybody I went to school with, like 50% of them are just like real estate now. That's all they post about. That's all they talk about. I'm like, bro, do y'all not have anything to like enjoy out of life?
And I don't blame them though. When I make some bread, I might go into real estate too. Like, but not the real. When I say real estate, I mean not the real estate where like people dedicate their life to it. I'm just gonna have enough money to buy a property so that can become a passive income.
So you can rent it.
Yeah, so I can rent it. I'm not gonna be doing all of that studying and closing deals. Nah, I'm buying this property. People buy, I rent, I make passive income while I do what I feel like, what my passion is. Because, like I said earlier, it's a lot of people on this earth, and just people I went to school with, like, they don't have no passions for real. They don't have no hobbies. Like, boring. It's clear, like, it's cut as it is. It's boring. They're boring.
Yeah, the thing about it is that a hobby falls right back into that first topic of like stability, right? Because it ties in with stability and money and happiness, and it all comes together. Because I myself have been in kind of a like depressed circle, right? Because like writing is like my only thing I can consider like a hobby. Gaming is almost like an addiction at this point. I've been a gaming addict since I was like 6.
That shit is an addiction for everyone in here.
Yeah, that is an addiction. But anyways, writing it's like when I can't write, I feel sad, and that's where my stability kind of folds, right? And when that stability starts folding, I need something else to make me happy. So I start spending money. And then when you start spending money, you start this hurting that stability for temporary dopamine rushes. And well, that's how gacha games gets people like Wes here.
Yeah, that's why I'm as of right now, the only gacha game that I plan on possibly trying in the future is Tower of Fantasy, which will probably be garbage, but it is marketed as an MMO, so I'm still gonna try it. Honkai Star Rail, even though I didn't get into the beta, but my mans did. F you. I love you though, but F you. I'm probably gonna go back to Genshin for that new 4-star character that they just showed that throws hands, even though he's a Catalyst user. Sue me. It is what it is. But I'm not gonna spend no bread though. But yeah, I don't really see myself playing any other gacha game. Like, that's why I've been playing Salt and Sacrifice so much, because it's just a game that I can enjoy with the homies or solo dolo. And when I get this Steam Deck, I'm about to go back into emulation, bro. Like, I'm gonna just have a portable emulator, bro, because like I realized that like I don't need to be playing these gacha games because they're not good for me. They're not good for my wallet, and they're not good for my health, my self-esteem.
They're giving you a temporary distraction. That's really what it is. It's just it's something to make the time go past, and that's the.
I've only played 2 gacha games. One is Dokkan Battle on the phone, and the other one was Naruto Blazing. Naruto Blazing shut down, but Dokkan Battle is still up. I don't spend money on it, but I still play it. That's the only gacha game you'll ever catch me playing.
And have these games like had any like gave you any enjoyment in your life? Well, how has that affected your life?
Yes, when I first started playing it, but now it's just I don't even really play it that much anymore because I've played it for too long. It's like I'm not even like enjoying playing it anymore.
It's too much of a good thing.
The first week is usually the best gaming experience when it comes to gacha. After that week, you run out of free stuff.
Yep.
Once you run out of free stuff, that's when you got to put the actual dollar bills.
That's
feels like a chore.
That's when you playing the real game.
Yeah,
it's a chore at that point.
Chore at that point. So once you start playing dollar bills, it almost seems like you're just working.
You're just working. You're not even playing. You're not even enjoying the game. You're just paying their bills. You're paying their bills.
You're paying their bills so you can get what you want at random. And that's at that point, it's not fun.
Isn't that borderline gambling? Like,
it is gambling.
It is gambling.
It's not borderline. There's no borderline.
But gacha is. That's what gacha is.
You want to know what's crazy? Even after all this time and all this stuff that you said, no, my bad, OG.
I said go. I was
like, all right, well, okay. Nah, but even after all this time, it's crazy how no matter what phase in history or what phase of time we have, we'll always result back to going to some type of gambling lifestyle. Some type of form of gambling is going to come back. Yeah.
They did it so well.
They do it well because they know how gaming is affecting an entire culture. Like literally the entire marketing of like this generation is centered around gaming. You know why we're getting so many bad games nowadays? It's because that's where the money is. People are just jumping in there because it's not because of passion. It's because
it's crazy because people are still spending top dollar full price games that come out and don't even work.
Yep.
I had full body tracking in VR chat. I would raise my hand right now because I still be getting scammed by these trailers, bro. I'm not going.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And what? My bad. You go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, yeah, nobody has like passion for their work anymore. They're just in it for the quick buck because that's where the market is right now.
And Wes, why do you think I save y'all from buying all these damn games and DLC? Why?
Yeah, because it's just, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I created the phrase with my former homie, high hopes, low expectations, and like I somewhat recently kind of lost my way with that because like I have high hopes and high expectations with a lot of these things, and like I just need to get back to like my thing. Like I don't want to be a pessimist or nothing like that, but I realize like putting stock in all of this stuff is like that's what's really just like killing me softly, essentially, with like games and this anime, manga, experiences with women, friendships. Like
just go back and experience the good times, bro. Either find another hobby or something else to just chill in, or just go back.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to school for my animation and my design, and I want to get back into learning FL Studio because like I have an ear for music, and I have an eye for creativity, and I have a brain for creativity because y'all be hearing like some of the ideas that I just be coming up with randomly. And like I feel like through the power of animation and storyboarding and stuff like that, I'll be able to put myself in a field where I can bring everything that I think I want to bring to life and so much more. And that would like give me a new drive outside of the hobbies that I already had, because I'm good on hobbies. I'm good on passions, but I can add more to that, so I could just have so much more to do.
I feel that. I feel like I need to become a one-man army.
Yeah, essentially. Like at the end of the day, I just want to be happy, and that's it. That's the only thing.
At least y'all got it planned out, bro. I don't know what I got going on.
That is true, but at the end of the day, you're still 21, brother. When I was 21, I switched my programs at community college about 3 times. I would do a semester in a program that I thought I wanted to do, and then I'd be like, this is garbage, and then I would switch it multiple times.
But honestly, that's why I'm glad I got y'all here, because y'all always be like, bro, you could do this, you got that potential. It's just on me at that point. It's like, cause I don't think I could do a lot of the shit y'all think I can do.
And that's the thing. That's why having good friends in your corner, or just good people in your life telling you like what you can do is good, because like that's why like so many people falter and they fail because they don't have good support systems around them. Like like as much as like mental gymnastics as I go through with my immediate family, like the things that like we have to deal with from each other, and like we already have to deal with stuff on the outside from the outside world, but then the mental gymnastics that we go through dealing with each other, like it is definitely mentally taxing. But 100%, if I didn't have my immediate family, I don't know where I would be. My support system is A1. Like just quiet as kept. Bro just slid on the table.
You see this man just broke his body?
What happened to his body?
Cause you good, brother? Good.
You okay?
For those that are listening to the podcast right now, he took his virtual reality headset and his body just like
bro turned into a mozzarella stick. It just did a twist. Yeah, that's hilarious. But
he's okay, bro. I'm gonna go over here, bro. I'm gonna go over here until y'all say he's good.
Bro looked like a Batman goon that got folded, bro. like that shit is crazy. Excuse my language. Bro got folded like a Batman out of Arkham, bro.
Hey, bro. I'm still here, bro. Don't worry about what's going on.
Right? Bro, sound like he's in a microwave.
What is going on?
But nah, that's crazy. All right, but back to what I was gonna say, like before we got sidetracked. But you know that's good because we all having a good time. My support system is A1. Without like my support system, I don't know where I'd be. Without my grandma, my uncle, my grandfather, my mom, some of my cousins, an auntie or two, like I don't know where I would be. But at the end of the day, my immediate support system, my grandma, my mom, my uncle, my granddad, them 4, those is my world. I would die for them. Yeah. You know, I love them to death. Without them, I don't know where I would be or who I would be. So yeah, it's having people in your corner is 100% like it's a necessity in life. Like at the end of the day, every human on this earth needs interactions, and every human needs to be loved. I don't care what people be saying. that they don't need love, or like are they cool with being alone? No, you're not. Like, it's literally not in your makeup, whether or not you believe in like religion or not. It's not in your makeup as a human based off of what science is telling you, and it's not in your makeup as a creation off of what the Bible is telling you. So, you know, whatever you believe in or don't believe in for that matter, it is 100% truth that humans need interaction to live. Whether that interaction be a romantic or a friend interaction, you just need human interaction to sustain yourself and live, like, period. So, you know, the fact that, like, you know, we got this group, and then outside of this group, we have people in our corner that support us and like love us and stuff like that. That's just like, it's definitely a necessity, because everybody needs that. There's so many people who have like that the world has lost because they didn't have a good support system,
right?
Or just like people in the air telling them what they could do, not what they couldn't do.
It goes back to like, is like just like what happened yesterday. Like May as my witness. Like I literally stopped a man from you know disconnecting from life. You get me? Like,
yeah.
In the extreme sense, like I literally sat online talking to a man for 2 hours, like convincing him that like, you know, your life has some type of purpose or some meaning. And it's like, that's where I get that. It scares me, but then it's also like a reality check of like, dude, like that's what being human is. Like, the same stuff I said to this person online to try to stop him is the same stuff I would have to say in real life if I was watching somebody about to, like, you know, flip off a bridge or something.
Talking somebody off jumping off a roof or something like that.
And it's just like that. No matter what, whether we're all disconnected and we're all in this social media type of thing or this metaverse bullcrap, at the end of the day, we're still human. You know, your humanity's still gonna be there, and it's like. That's the only thing that worries me about social media is like how easy people are disconnecting from that humanity. It's like at some point, it's like what like we gotta pay attention. Like, you get me? Like, you can't lock in too deep, you know?
Like social media or other hobbies are supposed to be an escape, but in terms of social media, like, it's becoming too much of an escape, like where you said, people can just disconnect from reality altogether, and that's not Cash Money. That's not supposed to be the vibe. Go ahead, Cinder.
People disconnect from reality altogether because what they see on the internet is reality. Well, it's their reality in a sense. It's like all these videos you see of like relationships and like showing like the perfect side of everything, which makes you begin to question your own life and like, oh, I'm 18 years old and I got a mansion already. If you 24 and you don't got a mansion, still living with your mom, you done messed up in life. Is that type of stuff.
Not living. And that's like, that's a crazy line of thought, bro.
And it's like they don't know any better though, because they don't go outside and see like that there's other people their age who are also going through what they're going through. This person might have just got lucky.
Yeah, they definitely got lucky.
Yeah, it's a stuff like that just jacks up everyone all together. And
it's like it's like what Tonbi was saying when we before the podcast even started being recording, we were having a conversation about the guy I helped, and Tonbi said something crazy deep that like I'm still thinking on today. It was like, he said like you said like, I had to lock in as a man at 19 and I haven't been able to like turn it off. You know, like that's just social media. I feel like social media is amplifying that. Like, you feel me? Like, if you got something to expand on that, Tonbi.
Yeah, so, you know, if you're 18, around like 25-ish, they kind of like, it's like they're throwing away your 30 years old, whereas like 30 years old is too late to do anything or have something going on with your life. So it's like, because you know how it is, like when you turn 18 or whatever, like depending on how you were raised, you get kicked out the house.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, you just gotta lock in until like to the point where you're just tired, you can't do that anymore. But like you're just locking in at an early age when 18 and 24 is just like you're still developing. Like you kind of stop developing around like 25-ish anyway. So like you're still growing, trying to know your ways around like the world and stuff, but you gotta be an adult early. That's kind of crazy if you think about it, especially when social media comes into play, because like you said, you got 18-year-olds that got mansions now off of being lucky. And while I do say lucky, some of them worked hard on it, but that's also kind of hard to say, because at the end of the day, like
That's also heavy influence from a good parental household, that they were
Yeah.
taught values very early
Yeah.
on, and
Yeah.
that's usually why someone would be that successful very early on.
And yeah, that's another thing. So it's pretty much how you're raised at that point. Because like, if let's say if you're a regular 18-year-old, just got out of high school, going into college, parents can't pay for college, so you accept loans. By the time you're finished with college, you'll be in debt, and you'll have a job, maybe the job of your dreams, but
That debt ain't worth it.
that ain't worth
That
it.
that
And
that
then-
taking most of your money from you.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
something that I had to experience right now. Kind of. I'll let you finish that time.
Yeah, so at that point, it's like you got what you wanted around that age, but is you really happy? Because at the end of the day,
You're no
you
longer
still had
stable.
to lock in.
Yeah.
You still
Goes back
had
to
to
it.
lock
You're no longer
college.
stable. You're locked in, unstable. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, and so it's and that's the crazy part, because you lock in to go for that stability, but then
You know.
you go to college, lock
And
in,
destabilize
graduate,
yourself.
lock in, destabilize yourself. Now you're in debt, and you're still not happy.
Yep.
That's
And
wild.
that's something that I might possibly have to deal with, even though like I've marked myself like I'm not taking no loans and whatnot. But I mean, I'm looking at it. The way that this college is set up, like the one that I end up choosing, had a better program for me in terms of like the animation design and like game development, stuff like that. Like it was all in one program, because I had the option between going to Michigan State and Eastern Michigan, and I chose Eastern Michigan because I had a better program for everything that I wanted to do. But the reason why Michigan State was more appealing is because it considered me for multiple scholarships once I got accepted into the school, which means I had a multiple like ways of like making more money for myself, like for financial aid, before I had to consider looking for any outside scholarships. While Eastern, on the other hand, I'm only like eligible to, like, even if I can like possibly get a multitude of scholarships, I'm only eligible to take like one of those. So like, my mom was like, she was basically like, you need to live on campus, you need to get this experience, so yada yada yada. And at first I was kind of pushing back, like, I'm not really like gonna do that. And then it's like, all right, I'll live on campus, but I'm gonna live in a single, and like I don't really care what it takes. Like I'm gonna just, hopefully the money is hidden so I can just get a single or whatever. And then I watched, like, it's funny, I watched a video, like these 4 white dudes, they had bought a bidet, and like it was a video of all of them experiencing the bidet. Like they took videos of all of them on the toilet with their faces reacting to it. And I was just laughing at it, because it was like, before they bought it, like it was all like 4 or 5 of them going into Walmart. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should get the roommate experience. Maybe that'd be the easiest way for me to make a group of friends outside of my Discord homies and like all of them people. So that way, like, I could just be more comfortable interacting with people and I like things like that. So I had decided that, you know what, I will just give me some roommates if I, when I live on campus. But then, we see how much it's talking about for me to like go to school. They're talking about $30,000 a semester.
God,
and it's like, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like $30,000 a semester, and it's like almost $9,000 if I live on campus, like within them fees for like the house and board, the meal plan and stuff like that. I'm like, $30,000. I can't.
I'm gonna be real with you. Going to college these days is never worth the money.
Not the move.
No, of course it's not. And that's the thing. That's what one of my friends had wanted me to talk about, even though we're not speaking right now, because she on my ish list, you feel me? But the thing is, like, she had wanted me to talk about that or bring it up on a podcast, like, the difference between, like, for the people who have went to college and for the people who haven't went to college. Like, how they view life and stuff like that. And the way I view it is like, now in this generation we at, college is not the end all be all. College is not something that you have to do. There's ways for you to make your money, make your bread through other avenues, and even depending on things that you like, you know, community colleges is coming back. Like, you know, back in the day, community colleges was still a thing, but like we was growing up and like everybody, you know, everybody was graduating high school and they're like, oh, I'm going to, you know, this university or that university. If you talking about you going to community college, they're like, you know, you copping out, like, you can't get into a real. So, you know, there was that stigma when we was growing up. But now it's like, I'm trying to say, bread. Like, when I think about it like this, when I went to my community college, bro, I was getting hella bread every semester off of, like, for my refund, off of the money that I didn't spend for books and stuff like that. And like, I was getting paid to go to school, and like, that was such a vibe for me. Like, okay, I'm going to school, I'm doing this. And like, the only reason that it took me so long to do community college is because it was getting to the point mentally where I needed to take breaks. Like, I just stopped. Like, I'm like, all right, if I don't feel like going to school, so I'm gonna work. All right, I don't feel like working no more, I'm gonna go to school. And I was doing that for like two years, and that's basically what made community college such a longer process for me. But you know how they say, like, oh, if you take a break from school, you're not gonna be able to go back, you know, you're not gonna be able to do it. And I was just like, that is the most asinine thought I have ever heard in my brain. And so like, when, you know, people was telling me that, I'm like, I don't hear what you're saying, it sounds like nonsense. And every time I went back to school, it was you know, because school is a machine. It's basically just prison, but you got a little bit more freedom. So like, I never had a problem taking a break to work and going back to school. Like, my grades never faltered. I never like was like falling behind or anything like that. Like, I'm a big procrastinator, so like, I was procrastinating. But even if I hadn't taken breaks from school, I would have still been a procrastinator, which is something that I've worked on and something I don't plan on doing when I go to university, like in the next few months, because I'm gonna do a little different. And the main part of that is because I'm actually gonna be learning something that I'm interested in doing. Like, when I was at community college, I was doing all my general education classes, and I didn't care about any of that stuff. I had like a few good classes. Like, I had a race and ethnic relations classes that I really liked. I had an African American history class that I really liked. I had an African American studies class I really liked. You see the theme that I'm going with here?
You learn about your people.
Yeah, I'm learning about my people, and I was interested. I had a Greek mythology, well, not even a Greek mythology. I had a mythology class that I really liked because I'm really interested in that. And then I had I forgot what class it was, but it was a class where we was reading certain like books and we were talking about them. And I don't know, I was feeling like the man at that time, bro. I was telling people to call me JD because, you know, the teacher asked, like, what do you want to go by? I was telling people to call me JD. And like, you know, every time we finished reading the book or whatever, everybody wanted to know my opinion on the book. You know, I felt good. I'm like, oh, I feel like that guy. You know, they mess with me around these parts. But, you know, I don't know, because I've always had that, wanted to have like kind of that feeling or vibe or whatever. But we could talk about that on another episode. But yeah, man, like, I'm looking at college now and it's like 30 grand a semester for me to live on campus. So I've already eliminated the idea of me living on campus because that's just not possible. Like, even if I took all the loans they was offering me, I would still be like 4 grand or something short, which is crazy to me because I'm like, I did this whole community college process and doing all my prerequisites just so I could save all of this money and get all of this money to go to school. And it's crazy to me because when I did the consultation with my counselor, she said that, oh yeah, you're basically 50% of the way done. You don't even have to do a minor. The only thing you have to do is your program and then you graduate. And that's only like 2 years. And I'm just like I'm happy, but like, yo, you still telling me, not even her specifically, but like this school's still telling me it's like 30 grand per semester. So like, I'm gonna have to see what's up, like towards
20 in debt.
Yeah, in debt. And that's the thing that blows my mind. It's like, I'm not, like, why do I have to go in debt to better myself? To be like, you know.
The key to making money is to spend money. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, the sad reality at that.
And reality is whack.
It is, you know, reality is whack. That's why we in VR chat. but quiet is kept. it's just kind of unfortunate because, like, realistically, for what I want to go into, I don't even have to go to school, but right now I'm in a place mentally where like I'm just not happy, so I don't even have the motivation to actually like actively go and learn what I want, because realistically all I gotta do is watch a few classes and YouTube tutorials on drawing. I gotta buy myself a drawing tablet, and then I gotta buy me 1 or 2 animation programs and just start making animations. I market that on the Twitter as freelance, they blow up, and then I put it, and then I start applying for places that need some type of animation, whatever, and then I would be in the industry in like a few years. But I'm gonna go the school route just because, like, I feel like credentials. It's the easiest way for me to get into what I want to learn without having to go about finding those things myself, which wouldn't really be hard, but like it is what it is. Plus, it's like a thing. Like when I graduate, I don't really care for graduation. I don't really care for school. I truly hate school. And my mom doesn't like when I say that, but like I'm honest. Like, in our household we value honesty, so I tell the truth. But
you can go the Cinder route, bro. Just join the military, bro.
My grandfather wouldn't let me join the military because he's a Vietnam vet, and he already told me. He was like,
"Take him for
no shit." Yeah, I'll do that. He'll listen to this, but yeah, he said there's no way in an HE double hockey stick, so I'll let you join the military, brother. Like, no sir. So, because he had to fight for his benefits, like they was telling, bro, he didn't even serve in the Vietnam War, and he got all type of pictures. Yeah, the military is. I made the like, I don't know. I had a statement the other day, and I'm like, the military is just prison, except when you get out, they actually give you benefits. That's all it is. Because, when you go to prison and you get out, like you're done. That's it. They look at you as nothing. But in the military, you go in, you do your bid, you get out.
You're a veteran.
Yeah, you're a veteran. You can go to school on their dime, and, you get a home loan and, things like that. Like, it's prison, but with benefits. And when I thought about it like that, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, thanks to people who did their service and whatnot, but y'all just went to prison. They be talking about criminals and stuff like that, but like in the military, bro, you basically,
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
You're committing crimes too, but just under the.
You're committing crimes.
That's a spicy
take. That's a spicy take.
It's not necessarily committing crimes. It's just like the civilian world. Like there's criminals in the military too. There ain't no difference.
Yeah. It's just, you got a uniform when you step out, and not just be wearing a Nike fit. That's all it is.
It's literally, it's just a job, essentially. That's all it really is. It's just a job. There's just people you have to answer to. There's some shit you can't even really, there's some stuff that you can't really like question. You're just here and nothing's going to make sense, right? Being in for about 4 years that I've been in, there's stuff, it will constantly never make sense. You'll always be dumbfounded at the stupid stuff that they seem to come up with or try to implement, and that actually goes through. But at the end of the day, I'm still getting paid whether I do or don't show up.
Yep.
And I'm on my way out with my GI Bill, so no complaints from me.
That's what I'm talking about, my boy.
You guys
that's the thing, like I be ragging on people in the military, but not in the most literal sense. Like, it's people who just sit and live to like talk about people in the military. I just be like, I just feel bad because like there's some people, the military was their only option.
Their only option. Yep.
And I just hate the people that I know that like are super creative that went to the military, because it kind of like stifles creativity, because like for however many years of your life that you just committed to them, that's all you can do. You don't have any of like some of your freedoms and stuff like that. And that just, I'd be like, for some people, I'm like, dang. But go ahead, Cinder.
I would be real. If I hadn't joined the military, my writing wouldn't be as good as it is now.
And see, and that's a great thing.
That's a passion. Like you could do that while you're in there.
Well, yeah, I could do it while I was in here, but when I went to a mental health facility, that was part of the military. That was because of air traffic control, though. That's not necessarily because of the military. Air traffic is a very stressful job. While I had time there, I was just reading books. I was just reading books while I had nothing to do. And and I got to learn the importance of my mental health overall. So I kind of thank the military for that because they helped me through that process.
Well, it's good. I mean, a lot of people have great experiences with the military, and they praise it.
I definitely would recommend. I wouldn't recommend anybody joining this.
It helps. It does. I mean, the military is a good thing for some people, but
it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
But yeah, I mean, and that's where I stand back. Like, it's just some like people in this world that don't have hobbies, they don't have interest, and like they kind of just find themselves aimless in life. And if you meet any of those check boxes, boy, them recruiters is gonna be on your doorstep. Don't know what to do with your life. Don't know how you're your next paycheck.
Don't you want to dodge demon? Don't you want a sports car?
Don't you want to get with somebody?
They
get
love
money
using
that and have a kid with them? Welcome to the military, buddy.
Join the military.
Don't you want a Hellcat, buddy?
Want to get that car you always wanted? They love that one.
It's either Mustangs, Chargers, or Challengers. Camaro. Yep, or Camaro. That's it. And then it's like, don't you want to be, risking your life while your wife or your girlfriend is back at home getting her cheeks bust down? Well, welcome to the military. They got a whole section on on them websites dedicated to military wives and military girlfriends. So, it couldn't be me, but for the people it is, I respect it.
God bless.
Get your bread. Oh God bless. Get your bread.
Really.
So yeah, but I don't know, man. Like social media, it's a blessing and a curse. Happiness over stability. It really depends on when you prioritize it, because that's the thing. Like, there is never a wrong time to get your life right. The only time where you could deem that you don't have enough time to get your life together is when your life is over. Exactly. When your life is over, that's the only time you could deem you don't have enough time, because your time is done. Anytime before that, you could be 65 and you like, you know what, I need to get it together. Go ahead and get it together, brother, because you still got time to do that.
You don't know when it's going. You don't know when that time go in.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman didn't really start buzzing until he was in his 50s.
Yeah, I mean, life is not promised to anybody, and you could go
didn't start buzzing until he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
So,
like, we was listening to Future when he was younger, but like Future was just a mixtape demon. Like, he was not coming out with nothing crazy.
He wasn't making albums yet. He just had mixtapes.
Yeah, he just had fire mixtapes. But like, now he really buzzing. And you could attribute that to the way that this generation of like dudes has come up and stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, Future he got some good music. People are saying that his new album is like one of the best albums out right now. I have yet to listen to it yet. That's what everybody telling me. I have yet to listen to it yet. The only albums that I listened to so far that are new this year is Kendrick Lamar's album.
Yes, sir.
Beauty, and Key Glock's album. If y'all haven't listened to Key Glock's album yet, Key Glock is hard. Y'all should check that out.
Now, I want to say something quick about Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Like that, some people don't realize how much that album like praises creativity and wants people to kind of like step out and do their own thing. Actually, I was meaning to bring that up earlier, how much Kendrick preaches like staying off social media for your own mental health. That's why he's not on it all the time. He comes out of his hole, makes some creativity, some creative stuff, and then disappears again.
Yep, because that's really what he did.
Hey, to quote my favorite song, bro. Cole made you feel empowered, but he is not your savior.
Exactly.
Future told you to get a money counter, but he is not your savior. Like, he was really, that album is great. That album is great. Kodak, he did his thing on that album too. He slid on that song with Kendrick and on that little interlude where he was talking his stuff. So yeah, I don't know, man. Social media is a thing that, like, while we're gonna get back into it kind of, because we're gonna be promoting the podcast and promoting our videos and stuff like that. But anything more than that, I don't know, because the thing is, it's like really see myself using social media like that. That's why, like, I kind of like a part of me wants to get out in person to like meet people, but at the same time, I kind of like
you gotta have money, bro.
Yeah, I gotta have money, but at the same time, I kind of don't because it's like, I was seeing a lot of people on Twitter, really just women specifically, talking about how like they don't really want to mess with nobody who doesn't have a social media presence because like they deem that it's like sneaky. Like, what are you doing for you to not have no pictures
like,
on your Instagram or something?
I'm gonna keep
like
it a
that?
bean. It doesn't matter. Like at this point of our lives, we shouldn't really be concerned with dating. All we need to be concerned with is making that bread. That's it.
Yeah, honestly.
That is true.
Right.
Because
stepping outside
with
in
the
real
bread,
life,
everything else comes. Everything else comes with the
Yeah.
success.
yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Stepping outside is like $50 automatic in the first place. You'd rather be inside with social media. Now I know social media is all negative and stuff, but you can look at it in the fun perspective. If you take away all the other BS and be ignorant to all the other politics and stuff. Like, for example, I'll be on Twitter a lot. I'll only be on Twitter for the funny stuff.
Right.
Instagram.
and the baddies.
And the baddies. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to get into depth.
We're not gonna talk about that. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
It is crazy, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's the motto right here. Instagram, you know, same thing. You know what I mean? Keep it fun. You know, keep the trolling booming. You know what I mean? Like, chop it up with the homies and all that stuff.
Yep.
Sending pictures of bots, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but
The
for the most
key
part,
takeaway. Go ahead, my bad.
no, you good. It's just a matter of how you're looking at it. We all know that social media is a blessing and a curse, especially a blessing when it comes to having like a source of income, and a curse is where your information is out there. Anybody can use it at their will in their disposal. But you know, but that's just almost the same thing as like real life. It's like how I was saying, anything you can do in real life, you can do in VR chat, which is pretty much it just all comes together where it's like, yeah, there's the bad stuff, but we can look at the good things. We're always looking at the bad stuff about social media, but what about the good things in there? Which usually comes with all the fun stuff. So, I mean, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
I look at it as more of like, instead of just using social media for just like scrolling Twitter and stuff like that, we can actually use these to further careers, further hobbies, stuff like that. Use it for what it is. It's a platform. It's a free platform that you don't have to spend money on. And advertise, get your stuff out there, share your stuff with people, that type of stuff. It always seems slow, especially when nobody's like clicking on it. I'm going through that right now. But if I really wanted to like get like a Kickstarter going from my writing and like put it in other places, I definitely could get something from it.
You can make it shake for certain. Because at the end of the day, everybody in this call is hustlers, bro. We know how to get to it. We all know how to get to it by whatever means. Mostly legal, of course. We don't do anything illegal in this call. We Christians.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We Christians, I'm good.
I would also say it's okay to not be a hustler. You know,
It is
not everybody's built like that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, if you're on social media and you're not on that hustler like fiasco stuff, and you just chilling, man, that's okay, bro. Like, you can do what you gotta do, bro. You can live your regular life. Outside of that, hop into social media to escape reality without even pushing any type of content or trying to get a band or whatever. You can just be in there just like a sort of relief.
Yeah. I'll say my closing thoughts on social media, because everybody been saying it, because you know we about to wrap it up soon, because we've been going for a pretty decent amount of time. But all I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stand like kind of piggyback off your point, Tonbi, that if you not a hustler, or you don't, you know, you're not really into that, like you just know how to follow your routine and you know how to like do what is specific to you, then you know, just be comfortable eventually breaking out of that mold. And if you don't know how to hustle on your own, you got to know how to eat. You got to know how to feed yourself. Like, I had a problem with a homie that I had. Like, you know, I was giving bro silver platters. He didn't know how to pick up a fork and partake in that meal, because he wasn't built like that.
That's a bar.
Like, you know,
pick up a fork.
You didn't know how to pick up a fork, bro. That's a bar.
And that's sad. Like, you know, what's that thing about, you know, you take something or
you can
water
lead a horse, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Can't make it drink.
Yeah. And that's basically what I was doing. Like, you know, I have a good mix of having book smarts and street smarts and a lot of unconventional knowledge. And I meshed that all together to become the person I am today with the experiences that I've had. But, you know, at the end of the day, I know how to deal with multiple avenues of life. And that's something that even if you don't, people should still actively be seeking knowledge every day. I learn something new every day. And I know people be like, you know, people be like, you know, you should learn something new every day, but they don't actively like act on that. Like, I be watching the most interesting, unconventional YouTube videos that just pop up on my timeline just so I can learn something new every day. Like, that's just how it is. You can only get about to say, you can only get as far in life as the knowledge that you have takes you. That's something I came up with myself. If you're not learning, you're not gonna progress. That's, you know, that's it. It's literally
If you're not learning, then you're dead. You died.
Yeah.
The only time you stop learning is if you die.
Yep. So, your brain should always be moving in a direction that like is because it's hungry. And you feed that hunger with knowledge. So I don't know, man. Like, people just, I don't know, this world, specifically our generation, just needs to kind of like experience more things, because the social media experience is not an authentic experience whatsoever. And it's kind of like molded a lot of our brains to be a certain way that is just not the right way to be. So people really got to get out more and start doing more things and just know how the world works outside of social media and stuff like that, so people can, you know, just do more. Because right now the world ain't doing enough. Like, the world is spinning, but the people on the earth is not moving, in my eyes. Like, we just staying still, we staying stagnant, and that's not good. It's never good to be stagnant or complacent. So I don't know, I just want better for myself, most importantly, and my family, and then my friends, and then my race, and then everybody else. But as a whole, we need to be better. That's my feeling on it.
Well, I mean, we would hope for that to happen, but you know, if it doesn't, then it is what it is. Because at the end of the day, we all gonna die.
Yeah, we're not gonna be here. If it do happen, we're not gonna be here. If it happen when my kids is around, that'll be great for them to see. If it don't, it ain't got nothing to do with us, because we gonna be living it up in our anime world. Yes,
far
sir.
away.
Far away, far away. In a galaxy far away. On God. And I'm gonna be a Jedi. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. This has been the 4th episode of Life Lessons and Blessings. I hope y'all like the new format that we're gonna be knocking out on YouTube and whatnot. Everybody say your goodbyes. We had Tonbi on this episode.
Peace, y'all.
We had Cinder on this episode.
I'm sleepy.
We had KiteZz on this episode.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Kite.
And then we had Lain OS, aka Meme, on this episode.
Your boy Tracker fucked up mid-episode, but that's cool. Y'all get a little laugh because of that.
Hey,
y'all gonna get a little laugh out of that
Hey,
shit.
yo.
Hey. And then we had West, you know, they call me Westside. Westside the best side. Yes, Sirski. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
I'm getting out of here.
Yep.
All right.
Actually,
Peace.
I'm an army crawl my way out of here.